Hey tankers, welcome back to channel. Today we are coming at you with a brand new beginner's guide. This is the lost art of side scraping. Yes, it's another beginner's guide video. We haven't done this in a long time. So I've got a lot of information to get into. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. So side scraping is the art of turning your tank at an angle to maximize your armor. You want to be hiding your lower plate. You want to be angling just enough to get out and get your gun on target and fire, and then you're going to pull back into whatever you're side scraping off of. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my top 10 points that me and Climber and my brother, Coach Mike, have come up with. And I've got 10 points for you, so we're going to get into that. Number one, your setup. You want to set up like I am doing right here and side scrape off of something that is going to cover your tank as much as possible when you don't want to be out shooting, when you're reloading, so on and so forth. Like, you could be pipes, it could be a dead tank, it could be the side of a building or a big rock, anything that will cover your tank. Number two, you need to know your tank's weak points. Keep in mind that your lower plate is probably your weakest point on the front of your tank. Some tanks, it might be that edge along the tracks, between the tracks and the hull. You need to know what your weak points are. Number three, this ties into number two, understand your tank's angles and shape. So your angle and shape are going to play into things because the different shape of things, like on your turret, like if you're driving a Mouse or a E100, you got these big flat plates on the sides of your gun that are easy to pen through. If you don't turn your gun when you're not ready to shoot, your opponent can be, even if you're properly side scraping but your turret is not turned the right way, you could be getting shot straight through. Tiger 2, for example, if you turn your turret away from your opponent, you can get penned straight through the side of that turret, and I will show you that later in the video. Number four, you need to be angling your tank properly to what you're side scraping off of. That ties in number five. The angle you want to be keeping is at or near 70 degrees from true. So true being 90 degrees, which you're flat on with the building like my brother is trying to do there, and he's got a 70-degree angle abouts, and you saw it bouncing a shot off him. That will help you keep your angle and increase the armor thickness of your tank, which is the purpose of side scraping, and enable you to get those bounces. At 70 degrees, you're going to get bounces from pretty much any shell. There's definitely shells that will overpen you, like a big 183. You have a better chance of getting penned even at a side scraping. It's basically boils down to RNG. So, number six, know your enemy's weak points and where to aim for. Knowing where to be hitting your enemy, where you see gray spots or where you're seeing a weak point, that can enable you to take advantage of their tank and be hitting them for damage when you're not taking damage. Number seven, watch your opponent. The best time to pull out and fire is just after he's fired. You know he's on a reload. He's going to be trying to get back into hiding if he's side scraping against you, or if he is just out in the open. Either way, once he's fired, he's got a reload to do, and if you can get out there and aim and fire quick enough, that's going to be to your advantage. Number eight, avoid steep angles when you're pulling out. If you're angling out more than 70 degrees, your armor is going to be thin out and you can get penned. So you don't want to be doing that. Another thing is number nine, avoid side scraping in pike nose tanks like the IS-3, IS-6, things like that. Those pike nose tanks, when you side scrape, your nose now becomes a flat point and easier to pen. So you need to be careful doing that. Number 10, be positionally aware. Now, what I mean by that is watch for the enemy tanks around you. Because you're side scraping off of one target does not mean you're side scraping off of the other targets. So you need to be careful. Sometimes it's going to be necessary to side scrape off of multiple targets, and that's going to be you can have to be really aware and watch who's fired and who's getting ready to fire, who's on a reload, so on and so forth. So those are the 10 points that you want to be paying attention for. Definitely give those a thought. Go through them. I hope they work out for you. We got more I'm going to go into. I'm going to finish this game analyzing this. I got some more stuff to get into, and then we will continue with this. So, side scraping is a very important part of this game. Like I said, it is a lost art form. Everybody is playing hold down tanks, and you have amazing tanks coming in the game like the Concept 1B, even the AMX MLE 54 that came in the year before a Christmas event. That's still a hold down tank. So this is really, I really hope you guys take something from this. So here I am, I'm on Middleburg. On the other end is my brother, Coach Mike. We're in a training room. We are both in Tiger 2s that are fairly well equally set up. Actually the same camo and pretty much everything. So anyways, you can see already, we're set up. We're both looking. I'm looking for him. And we can see the gray spot on the side of his turret. I'm going to back up here, and he's going to start knocking the crap out of me because I'm keeping my turret turned away from him as well. And here I got a shot in. I've already taken some hits. And that's because I'm not angling up my turret right. And here I angled it up, and I faced my turret directly to him. Now that boils down to knowing your turret. And I was having issues to begin with, but then I remembered that I need to be facing my target in this tank, because as you see my brother's tank, every time I'm able to get a shot on him, he's got his turret turned away, and I am penning right through the side of that turret. And I got some really good photos from Armor Inspector to show you in a minute. And meanwhile, he's firing me, and any shots he's firing me now, he's just bouncing, and because I'm like, there's another bounce. I'm only trying to pull out when I have a shot loaded. So here we go. So here is a Tiger 2 on Armor Inspector facing directly at you. Here is my brother's tank turned on a corner, on an angle. Now you can see that's a shot coming in, 100% pin. The armor is only 179 millimeters at the angle. Here is what it's going to look like if he's looking straight at me. 0% chance, 0% armor that I'm going through. I'm not going to pin him at that angle. Here's my brother's view, reversing back beginning engagement. You can see I had my angle turned like he was, and he's pinning me. Look at all that gray right there. And the Tiger 2 has a great gun that's going to aim in and hit you every time. Numbers wise, the Tiger 2 on the hull has 160, the hull front, 166 millimeters of armor. The lower plate is actually 213 millimeters. So that's actually, that's one of the best lower plates in the game, truthfully, any tier you're talking about. So you have to penetrate that 213 when it's angled to get through it. And it gets worse when you're angled. The armor gets thicker. Remember, the armor gets thicker when you're angled. And with the Tiger 2 has an AP round of 225 millimeters of pin with calibrated shells that jumps to 236. The 233 millimeters of lower plate pin, you're not going through that when it's angled, because that jumps up considerably. APCR pin jumps to 285 on AP, or on AP, and then with it calibrated shells, the APCR jumps to 299. So that should probably go through just about anything at that angle with the APCR. But we're not talking about ammunition and shells right now. So anyways, so you can see how this is working in a practical situation. And this is set up. This is a training room, like I said. My brother and I are just angling up on each other, taking shots. He's trying to, get shots on me. We had the discussion as we were doing this, and he was thinking like E100. Like, see, look, I looked straight at him, and he had nothing but red to shoot at. When I turn my turn away, or he turns his turn away, you see that gray, and you're going to pin right through there. So earlier we talked about the pike nose tanks in the top 10 in my 10 tips to avoid using top side scraping and pike nose tanks. Well, IS-7 is the king of the pike nose tanks, dude, and I'm going to get some side scraping in. But I haven't watched this clip in forever, so I'm just going to watch and analyze. And I get a good bounce there. That's kind of not side. I mean, it's not that technically side scraping. I was in the open a bit. I turned my turret, my tank, the opposite way, so not the degrees I should be. But I was in open, and I kind of, was using the open part to get a good turn there. And that guy fortunately didn't get a shot through me, and I'm at 1,133 damage and 1,400 damage bounce right now. That's a really solid number. If you can, that 1,400 points, I'm dead. There's another bounce that pushes it up even more, 1,800 bounce. So if you're keeping your angle turned, even in a pike nose, you can get away with it. But that damage you're bouncing, that could be the difference between a win and a loss, and heading back to the garage early and finishing the game. So here we are. This is our final clip of the game, of the video. Sorry, I am in the VK 36H or 32H or something like that. The Tier 6 heavy. We can see that I am on Yamato Harbor. This is an astounding game. The amount of damage bounced and how I finished this game was just crazy. And I've saved this for a long time, a long time. So you can just see I'm using this building to angle up, and there's already a couple of bounces. And I'm back. I'm reloading. I'm going to back up, put a shot in the ARL, and I'm taking another bounce. Already, I'm over 600 damage bounced. That's why I'm doing this. That's what I'm angling for. I'm trying to angle, and here's another shot into an ARL. He just kind of pulls right in front of that gun. I'm trying to hit this Sherman back there, and I got a shot into him. And he's in wide open. He doesn't got the armor to defend against me anyways, but he's in wide open, and when you're in a wide open like that, you're going to take shots. That's why we have tanks that are hull down, why we have tanks that are strong with side scraping. You have to learn your tank. That Sherman's big as a friggin' house as far as I'm concerned, and I'm pinning him all day long where he is. Here we have, looks like an M41D coming at me, or a Chaffee, and he's so worried about that kill, he's not paying attention to me. Now, see, I have multiple targets now. I have targets in front of me, and I have this light tank on the side. So I'm side scraping against two people. You see that shot hit the wall next to me. That's because I'm keeping my angle as solid as I can. I'm watching the target that's a more danger to me, but I'm being aware of the targets that could be taking shots on me as well. So here I have two tanks coming up me. It looks like that's the Barkham, the Tier 6 heavy. And there's that Sherman from earlier, and he's just going to sit there and think, you know what, I'm a big-ass tank. I can bounce this shot. Guess what? You're dead, dude. You can't bounce it. So now so he's dead, but I'm side scraping against three. I'm fighting three tanks. There's another one down. The light tank is down. Now this Barkham is right here. He's got pretty good armor. That's that's the version of the Tiger tank at Tier 6. I get another bounce there, and this is all side scraping. Right now I'm over 2,200 damage bounced, and it's not done. He's now a one shot. I'm really low in health, and I take a hit there because look, I'm flat onto him. I was going to take a hit all day on that one. I'm aiming in, and I get the kill, and I'm going to finish that game with 2,235 damage bounced. Guys, that's side scraping. That is side scraping. That's what we're talking about. I hope you got something out of this game. This is what it's about. Watch this, watch it again, learn to use it. Side scraping is not dead. It's still here. You just have to learn how to use it, guys. Anyways, I hope you got something out of this. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. You got any questions? Give me a question. I'll answer it. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, good luck and good hunting.